Coach.
Coach, what are the challenges on a short week just getting out?
I don't think getting up is going to be the issue. Getting prepared for a good team is going to be an issue. But kids are excited to play. We're not going to grind them this week and do a ton of hitting. We're just going to get the best game plan in we can and let it rip.
That last play against Wisconsin, is that something you can send into the conference to get an explanation or some sort of feedback?
Yeah, the right protocol is to send any plays we have questions or concerns about into the Big Ten. We've done that before. You know, there's nothing they can say or do that's going to change anything, so leave it at that.
In the 3 games you played with I, they've all been pretty close. Special teams play here or there. It's kind of push it one way or the other. How important is it to just have the best, cleanest game you guys can have?
Yeah, it's important. Playing a complete game and playing a clean game matters. And, you know, I compliment them all the time, but I compliment them in that they don't beat themselves. They create turnovers. They play well on special teams. I think they do a good job in all 3 phases. You know, Kirk does a great job. Brian does a good job with the offense, and you got to beat them. They're not gonna lose the game.
How big do you think the NIL piece might be this year and in future years, in like juniors who are deciding what to do, knowing they could stay and make some money here?
Yeah, potentially big. You know, we got a bunch of guys getting ready to walk for senior day, and we're going to let some walk that still are going to make a decision after senior day whether they're going to get 2 senior days or 1. A lot of guys we'd love to see come back again, and I think it's smart for those guys to probably celebrate senior day and then put their toe in the water and check and see what their status would be and make a good decision. But potentially being able to make a little money and have some other benefits through NIL opportunities here certainly doesn't hurt an opportunity to get kids back again for another year.
Scott, typically we see Adrian up here on these Mondays. Is there any update on his status? Is there anything you can say?
Yeah, you guys know I don't really talk about injuries unless it's season ending. We have 1 game left. Adrian won't be available. He has a shoulder injury that he's going to have to get addressed after the season. Happened in the first half Saturday. He's such a tough kid. I didn't expect him to play in the second half, and he came up to me right before the second half kickoff and said he wanted to go. Played well, played tough. Feel terrible for him, but appreciate him, and we're going to have to be without him Friday.
You said you've been talking to him for a while about what the future looks like. I mean, does that change that conversation? You start from scratch on it?
You know, I talked to him after this, and I think he needs a little time and space from you know, this has been a challenging year. We made a lot of progress. He's played really well most of the entire year. Teams played well most of the entire year. We haven't got the results we wanted. I think we can talk about those things after Iowa. We need to be focused on Iowa right now.
So then is Logan then to start against Iowa?
Yeah, Logan and Harburg are both taking reps, and we'll get them ready. They've both done some really good things in practice. Logan's done some really good things in the game, and I got confidence in him.
Could you see a scenario where you play them both, or do you want to have one designated guy?
I think there's a scenario that both could play. Obviously, Logan's earned the right to be the guy right now, but I can see a scenario where both get a chance.
Do you know how Adrian injured his shoulder? Do you know what happened?
Yeah, he was rolling right and threw one and kind of got hit as he was throwing, and it wasn't much of anything at all. I think he just braced his hands out to kind of catch himself, and we didn't know the severity of it at halftime until we got back and examined everything. I think he had told us he had some clicking in his shoulder, and didn't know if he could throw with the same velocity that he usually threw with. And you know, like I said, I didn't expect him to play in the second half, and he came up to me and said he wanted to go. And I said, I'm going to let you play if you feel good enough, and he gutted it out.
Is he one of those guys that's going to walk
I would encourage him to. I haven't talked to him about that. I'm kind of talking to each of those guys individually, but I would encourage him to walk, and certainly hope it's not his last one. But if it is, he needs to be honored.
That game plan you ran against Wisconsin, could you operate that way with the backups?
No, you want me to tell you what we're running? Yeah, we did some unique things, but also a lot of those things were kind of in our catalog and menu of things that we can do. We dressed it up a little different and had some new things. These two have been in quarterback meetings all year, taking reps all year, so they're familiar enough with what we do that there's plenty of good things that we have available.
If Adrian has played, his last game, I'll ask you just maybe your thoughts on his time here, the toughness that he's played with. He has a total offense record, all those things.
Well, I don't want to talk about him like he's gone, so I don't want to get into those speculations. Playing quarterback here is tough. Being a head coach here is tough. I've said it a bunch. You get more praise than you deserve when things are going well, and more blame you deserve when things aren't. I've lived that as a quarterback, and he's done a ton of really good things at the University of Nebraska. Sometimes it's been great, sometimes it hasn't. But I admire and respect him, and he and I have been battling through a lot together, and I just appreciate who he is.
Scott, you talked a lot about belief in terms of believing you're going to win. How much belief do the team and guys have behind Logan and what you've seen from his leadership this year?
One thing you say about this team, we're not going to stop fighting, and this team won't stop fighting Friday. I can guarantee that. We're playing a really good team. They got a lot better record than we do. But we're going to give ourselves every opportunity we can to try to be in the game.
Austin Allen's pretty much doubled his production each of the last 3 years to get to where he's at now. He's, probably going to break every single season tight end record here. What's impressed you the most, I guess, about his growth over the course of his career here?
Yeah, first I'll make a plug for him, but his stats bear it out. But in my opinion, he's an all-conference player. He's reliable. That's the best thing I can say about him. Anything you need him to do or get done, he's going to get it done. He's turned himself into a really fine player at that position and a great leader. And he's one of the guys that's the heart and soul of our team.
What do you think characterizes this senior class of guys that will walk and maybe guys that likely will, and some of these guys who were with you, when you came in here?
I suppose I'd pick the word perseverance. These guys have been through a lot, coaching changes and ups and downs and heartbreak in some of these games this year, and continue to work and fight through all of it. Some of them I hope aren't done, but the ones that are deserve to be sent off the right way by our home crowd and our fans.
What does your running back room look like this week for Iowa? You were out without Ramir.
It's a room about 1/8 this size with pictures in it of old running backs.
Is there a chance Ramir could be back this week?
We'll see. It's kind of been day to day with him. I would say most likely not, but he's fighting to get back. Same with quite a few other guys.
Is there any, Yan did make an appearance in that game. A lot of people sort of wondered where he was at against Wisconsin.
That was a coach's decision to go with the other guys. So he'll be available and ready to play this week.
Scott, what do you expect from Logan in this moment?
He had a great day of practice today. Both of them did. So I think he's been looking forward to this moment. Like you guys have seen it, he's done really well when he's gone into games and operated well. This is a good defense we're playing, obviously, so it's going to be a big challenge. He's really sharp. He's not the fresh-faced kid that's going to get surprised by a bunch of things or pressures or different looks. He's really smart and knows our offense and can operate it, so we're gonna give him the ball and let him try to do it.
I know your tackles have had some tough moments this year, but where do you see Turner, Bryce, and guys behind him kind of ending the season and heading into another one?
Yeah, a lot of room for growth. I thought we protected really well Saturday, especially considering the defense we were playing. We put them in a lot of protections that I think helped a little bit, but they heated us up at the end, and other than that, we kept Adrian pretty clean throughout the game. It's ironic that that happened to Adrian in that game to me because I think he got hit probably less in that game than he has in almost any game this year. But the guys are fighting and scrapping. A couple of them playing through nicks and cuts. That's football. Still a lot of room for growth and a lot of talent at that position.
I'm sure you take a few hours for Thanksgiving dinner, but after that, how many days in a row do you think you're just going to be going at it every single day? Not just coaching, but trying to put together the roster and the coaching staff.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of change. I don't really want to think about that too much until we get through this game. We're going to fight and claw, try to get this one. Again, I got a ton of respect for them and what they do, and it's going to be a tough game. They're a good team, but that's where our focus is right now. And right after the game, there's going to be a lot of work to be done.
You mentioned Blaze and Jamari specifically after the game on Saturday. Obviously, Blaze played quite a bit. What have you seen from those two guys? Shenander said sort of came on a little bit maybe over that first bye week.
Yeah, just steady growth. Blaze is a kid that came in and was just nagged by injuries for a long time. And we didn't even really know what we had there because we didn't get to see him do much. Jamari, we always thought had a bunch of talent and has really started to figure it out this season. So I think those guys have bright futures. Phil Darius was out last week and out for this game too. So we're a little thin there. And when guys get their opportunities, we want them to grab it with both hands.
A few guys just kind of said this game absolutely means more because it's Iowa. It's a subjective discussion. Does it mean more in your eyes?
At this point in time, this is the only thing that matters. Yeah.
What did Logan, meaningful snaps, he had a bunch in Michigan State, or a handful, I should say. What did he show you in that brief period of time that gives you confidence that he can run the ship at a high level?
Yeah, he's come in several games and looked really good, made a really good throw. I think it was a Buffalo game, and led us on a drive. Against Michigan State. I think we had 2 false start penalties on the drive. He was leading us down the field. So I get small sample size, big sample size at practice, but feel good about him being ready to play on Friday.
Coach?
Coach, football finals back in Memorial Stadium. It's good to see these games back in here.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm jealous of these kids. I never got to play in a state championship. We got beat my sophomore year bad in the semis, and then my junior and senior year both got beat by a team up north with a chubby fullback. And I didn't get to play in one of these. Great to see these kids out here on Memorial Stadium field, and congratulations to them and good luck to everybody.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Coach.